I get a lot of questions about the connection between adrenal fatigue and fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. So I want to address that now. Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Neville. I specialize in treating adrenal fatigue and related chronic illnesses. And if you ask me, fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome are really just two sides of the same coin that are caused by an underlying adrenal problem over time. With regard to adrenal fatigue is a situation where because of, for whatever reason, there's been chronic perpetual stress driving our physiology too often into fight or flight and not enough in rest and digest, causing too much wear and tear, not enough healing and repair. That wear and tear, which is well documented, is in the form of oxidative stress. What does that mean? It means the release of free radicals. The metabolism of like running from tigers all the time releases these free radicals, and that can overwhelm the body. Those free radicals are floating around in the blood, and they go everywhere. The blood goes everywhere, so these free radicals go everywhere. You can think of them like pinballs in an old pinball machine, just bouncing around, pinging, causing damage to the cells, damage to the mitochondria, damage to the brain, damage to the organs, everywhere. There's a set of symptoms that's going to develop specifically because of chronic stress over time. Even in conventional research, you'll see this. The list is fatigue, pain, insomnia, brain fog, weight, anxiety, depression, blood sugar problems, blood pressure problems. Those are usually low. In the beginning, eventually they can go high. First two, fatigue, pain. If you think about the fatigue part, imagine a zebra running from a lion, right? How long does that chase last? 30 seconds, maybe a minute if you get a fast zebra, a slow lion. And if the zebra escapes, it goes up and curls up for a day, recovers, heals, and then does it again. Well, most of us, we've been running from those lions, many, not just for a minute, not even just for a day or a week, right? But we've been doing it too often for years. Think about how metabolically demanding that is on the body. There are many mechanisms that lead to the chronic fatigue that my patients will deal with. And if in the beginning, those symptoms aren't so bad, right? Because our body starts shifting. It's almost an insidious kind of shift where we shift too much in fight or flight, little excess wear and tear, not quite enough healing and repair. And maybe we see a little glimpse of symptoms here and there, but we can push through that. It's not that big of a deal. A little anxiety, didn't sleep that well for a day, but then we recover, right? But as this physiology shifts more and more and more, these symptoms become more pronounced. Okay, so all my patients, every one of my patients with adrenal fatigue is tired, right? Some are so tired for so long that they can eventually fit the ICD-9 or ICD-10 criteria for chronic fatigue syndrome, which is put out by the CDC. It's just a group of symptoms. And if you fit that, fine. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm much more focused on the underlying cause. Getting an official diagnosis like that it helps with research. It helps doctors get paid because they have to put in that little ICD-10 code or whatever that might be. But that's about it. The label doesn't mean anything to me. I'm much more focused on what is the underlying cause of that problem. Now, fibromyalgia, same kind of a thing. There's lots of different reasons as to why my patients will feel pain. But it's still, both of these are like garbage can diagnosis. I've ruled out everything else I can find, that is potentially harmful. No autoimmune, no cancer, no tumors, no hepatitis. I've ruled all that stuff out. So I don't really know what it is. I'm going to call it fibromyalgia, right? So fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, two sides of the same coin, and really just adrenal fatigue kind of to the nth degree. Don't get caught up in the names though, because then you go Googling it, you go into forums. Oh, there's no cure. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows the cause. It's incredibly confusing. And so you got to be really cautious with that information, because that information is biased. That's their understanding. Does conventional medicine know what causes chronic fatigue syndrome? No, they don't. But you can ask some of my patients that if we treat the adrenal fatigue and the chronic fatigue syndrome goes away, I don't know, that's pretty good evidence for me that maybe adrenal fatigue was a part of it, right? Now, adrenal fatigue is bigger than just adrenal fatigue. It's so incredibly misunderstood, adrenal fatigue. Click on the link below and it'll take you to the rest of my channel where I talk about adrenal fatigue and why so many physicians, so many patients just really get it wrong. And it's time to get it right, because you can get your life back once you do that consistently. Thanks for listening. Hope this helps.